Hello students. Welcome to part 2 of the lecture series on 15 plus previous year gate questions of electronics and communication on the topic of two-port network. So let's come directly to the questions. So this was the question of previous year, and this is a two-port network. Given that this is a T matrix and they are asking you the condition of reciprocal network. Now for that I have attached you the conditions here for all the parameters z, y, t, t dash, h and g parameters. They are the conditions of reciprocal. These are the conditions of symmetry. Okay, so you have to learn them. And here we can see that for T matrix, the reciprocal condition is AD minus BC equals to 1. That is, determinant should be equal to 1. Okay, that is a condition. So you have to learn all these. Such type of questions have been repeatedly asked in GATE. So they are very important. So you should learn them. Okay, now let's come on to the next question. So here we have to find the ABCD matrix of the given two-port network. So this is a two-port network, 5 plus 4J, 2 ohms, 5 minus 4J. Okay. So this is plus minus V1 voltage, plus minus V2 voltage, I1 current and I2 current. Now we can see that the current in 2 ohm resistance will be I1 plus I2. Now KVL in these two loops can easily give us the result, that is V1 is equal to 5 plus 4J I1, 2 times of I1 plus I2, that is 7 plus 4J I1 plus 2 I2 is equal to V1. This is equation number 1. This is loop number 1. This is loop number 2. Now in loop number 2 we can get V2 is equals to 5 minus 4J I2 plus 2 times I1 plus I2. This will give me 2 times I1 plus 7 minus 4J I2, that is V2. This is equation number 2. Now for ABCD matrix, we need the relationship between V1 in terms of V2 and I2. Similarly, I1 in terms of V2 and I2 for ABCD matrix. Now rearranging the equation number 2, we can get I1 is equal to V2 upon 2 minus 7 minus 4J divided by 2 I2. Now comparing with this equation, we can get C is equals to 0.5 and D is equal to, since we are comparing here with minus I2, so D will be equal to 7 minus 4J divided by 2, that is 3.5 minus 2J. So C is equals to 0.5 is only in one option, so option B is the correct answer. So we can get the answer directly from here. Okay. Now to solve for the other two terms for A and B, I will be solving the whole question, but still without solving for A and B, we can say that the answer is B. Okay. Now let us solve for A and B. Now equation 1 is given to us. Okay, so equation number 1. Equation number 1 is equals to V1 is equals to 7 plus 4J I1 plus 2 I2. Okay. Now if I replace I1 So this is, let us say this is equation number 3, this is equation number 4. Replacing I1 from 3 into 4, we will get 7 plus 4j. I1 is V2 upon 2 minus 7 minus 4j divided by 2 plus 2I2. So V1 is equals to 7 plus 4j divided by 2 V2 minus 7 square plus 4 square divided by 2 I2, sorry, this is I2, right? Plus 2I2. So this is equals to 7 plus 4j divided by 2 V2 minus, so this is 49 plus 16 divided by 2 plus 2 I2 plus 2 I2. This will be equal to 3.5 plus 2j V2, and after solving this we will get minus times of, so let us say plus, so this will be equal to 49 plus 16 is 65 divided by 2 minus 65 divided by 2 plus 4 I2, that is 3.5 plus 2j V2 minus, so this will be equal to, sorry, this is plus 4, it will be like this, okay. So this will be equal to minus 61 divided by 2 I2, that will come out to be 3.5 plus 2j V2 minus 30.5 I2. So from here we can say that this is A and this is B. So since we are comparing with, so here we are comparing with minus I2, so B will be 30.5, not minus 30.5. Okay, so you have to remember that, you have to keep this in mind. So we can say that the answer B is the correct answer and our solution was correct. Okay, so this finishes this question as well. Now let's move on to the next question. So here we have to find the admittance matrix, that is Y matrix. Okay, so whenever you are solving for the whole matrix, the best method is to solve the whole circuit and find the matrix. So here also we have to find the whole matrix. So this is 10 ohms, this is 5 ohm, this is 10 ohm, V1 voltage, I1 current, I2 current. Okay, now sorry, this is V1 and this is V2. Okay, now since the voltage across this 10 ohm resistance is V1, so the current here will be 0.1 V1, that is V1 upon 10. Okay, this is the simplest thing we can see over here. Okay, so the current in 5 ohm resistance will be I1 minus 0.1 V1. Okay, now since the current at this node, here it is I2 and here it is I1 minus 0.1 V1, so the current in this branch will be I1 plus I2 minus 0.1 V1. Okay, now writing the equations we can see that, so let us say this is node A, this is node B. Okay, now since node A voltage, and let us say that this point is grounded, so node A voltage is V1 and node B voltage is V2. So voltage across this 5 ohm resistance is V1 minus V2. That will be equal to 5 times the current that is flowing through it. Okay, so V1 minus V2 is equals to 5I1 minus 0.5 V1. So we'll get 1.5 V1 minus V2 is equals to 5I1. So I1 is equals to 0.3 V1 minus 0.2 V2. This is equation number 1. Now, since we know that in the 10 ohm resistance, this resistance, the current is this I1 plus I2 minus 0.1 V1. So V2 is the voltage across this 10 ohm resistance. So V2 is equals to current, that is I1 plus I2 minus 0.1 V1 multiplied by 10. So V2 is equals to 10 I1, 10 I2 minus V1. So V1 plus V2 minus 10 I1 is equals to 10 I2. This implies I2 is equals to 0.1 V1, 0.1 V2 minus I1. Okay. Now using equation number 1, we can replace I1. So we'll get 0.1 V1, 0.1 V2 minus 0.3 V1 plus 0.2 V2. That is minus 0.2 V2. Sorry. Using these two, 0.2 V1, and using these two we get 0.3 V2, that is I2. This is equation number 2. Now, as we know that the Y matrix has relationship between like this. This is the Y matrix, V1 and V2. So I1 has to be written in terms of V1, V2. I2 has to be written in terms of V1, V2. And this is the Y matrix. So from equation 1 and equation 2, we can see that from equation 1, this is 0.3, this is minus 0.2, this is minus 0.2, and this is 0.3, V1, V2. So this is the Y matrix. Okay. So in this question, gate question makers has made a mistake and they have neglected this minus sign. Okay. So they have made a mistake, and thus the answer is A according to the given options. Okay. So this finishes the another section of this lecture series. So thank you guys. We will be solving more questions in the next part of the lecture series. So keep sharing these lectures and give us the feedback. Thank you.